Hello friends, I am Manoj Mittal. So today we are going to learn how to send and receive a file using the Azure Bot Framework. So the component what I am going to use in this tutorials is the Azure Bot. It's a framework I'm going to use. The LUIS is a knowledge or it's like a language understanding intelligence system when the users talk and give the utterances. So based on those utterances, it's give me the intent. Based on intent, we can fire the queries to any of the system. So here I'm going to use the SharePoint Online as a repository system. So SharePoint Online have a document library where the file exists, and I'm going to save the files into the same document library using the CSOM object model. So it is the whole theory what I'm going to use here. So let's get started and see how it's work. So I'll just move to the portal.azure.com and just click on the AI plus machine learning. Here we get the web app bot. I clicked on the web app bot. Here we can give the bot name. So anything uh, bot demo dx3. I think you can select our subscriptions. I'm using my Visual Studio Enterprise subscriptions. You can use your resource group. You can create a new resource group if you don't want to use that one. So locations you can select pricing tires, and if you want to use a free to use the experience, if you have premium, so just use the S1. So the important is here the bot template. So here the two versions comes there. There was V3 and V4. I'm going to use a V3 and using the C sharp, which is give me the 5 different template. So I'm going to use a language understanding intelligence system template. I selected that one. I don't need app insights for the logging, so this is just for a demo purpose. So that's it. And just click on the create. Once you click on create, your bot framework will be ready. I have already done this activity for me, so I'm not going to repeat this activity again and just not going to create. Okay, so let me close these sections and let me open the solutions which I created already. I'll go to the dashboards and my dashboards. Okay, so this is the Azure Bot Framework what I created. So once it's comes for you, so you can go to the build section and click on the download bot source code. So it will create a zip file for the entire source code what Azure Bot Framework is giving to us. So let's wait for a couple of seconds, and parallelly what it does, it just create a LUIS app into the language understanding intelligence system. So we can click on the download source code and it will come as an entire source code. We can extract and start working on it. Okay, so parallelly what it does, it just create, if you go to the luis.ai and just click on the my apps, it will shows all into, it's creating what are the app exist already, and it's create a new app for us. So this is the sendbot file demos what I created, and it gives the default intent for us, the cancel, greeting, hello, just sorry, help, and the none with the some utterances. We can use those one. We can create our own intent also. So just like we are going to create our one new intent, and then the I will just create here and showcase. So before that, let me open the Visual Studio code. So if I download and unzip the file, so this is the default code structures what it comes. So by default, this all the references come as a broken link. What you can do, you can right click on the reference, go to the manage NuGet package, update, click on the update and select all, just click on update. So all the references will relink and start working. Okay, so this is the one extra step. So what I already done. And apart from that, it just gives the controller. So it's a simple MVC based project. So the controller is basically invoked what are the files we are using. So here is a dialogues file. So the dialog files, so this comes as a by default in the system. So it's a basic LUIS dialog. So it has a constructor and it has a default few intent which is defined, the none, greeting, cancel, and help. So what you saw here in the LUIS model, which is by default it's coming, the system is identifying what they have defined. If we'll run it, it will start understanding what the text we or the what utterances we write. So it will just check it from the here. and give us the intent. Accordingly, we can do the operations. Okay, so it's fine here. So I'm not going to use that much. Let me delete it. So our agenda is just send and receive. So these things we are not going to use. Okay. So that's fine. Though this is the configurations, some configurations, app IDs, Louis ID, app uh, API host name. So that I have already entered into the my web.config file. So you can, from where you can get Louis app ID, Louis app key. If you go to the Louis and go to the manage section, there is a publish setting as an end key endpoint. So from here you can get all these things. If you click it here, it will open in the browser, or just copy it, put into the notepad file. So it will come like that. So this is the key, what it comes, and this is the ID. It's come. Similarly, we can find the version. This is the 0.0 is a version, and what we are hosting. So this is that one. So if I go there, this is the solutions. Okay. So let me start here with the basics. So by default, it's come and Louis intent none. So if nothing is there, as we are talking about the attachments we need to send. So let me type some more here, Louis intent, where we are getting as a blank or the none. It should call this function. So let me add some more parameters here. So this way our table message activity, message activity will just type. Okay, so this is there. I'll add the reference for that. Yep, message activity. Okay, we'll create a variable for that. So that will be message anything. Yep. So I have a sample code for that. I'm going to use that code to speed up the activity. Yep. So I'll go there. So this is my sample code for the none. So I'll explain what I'm going to do here. So it will be easy. So I'm going to remove these sections, just paste it for the reference. So I'll just add the link queue. So it just asks for a link queue. Yep. And okay, so this is the message what I created, message activity. It's going to take a message as a activity and just converting as a activity, and then check my content is having attachment or not. If it's having attachment, then we are calling or just forwarding our request to the one new class, that is a receive attachment dialog. That class I'm going to create right now. If there is a no attachment, so I'm calling a default function, that is a show Louis results. Okay, so let me add those parameters. Okay, so it also need the reference. I add the reference here. That's great. So let me take it and create the class. That I go to the dialog folder, add new item. So here I need the CS file. I'll just go there. Yep. Add. So that class, I'll give the same namespace. So my DLL should be 1. If I give the different namespace, it will create a different DLLs, multiple DLLs actually. To avoid that, it's the same. I'll just add a reference for that. Okay. So let's see that error message further. Okay. So here it should be tracked from the I dialog. Oh, sorry. That should be I dial. I'll add the reference for that. So it says implement. So I don't always have a default interface. It says we need to implement those interface what exists. So the start sync is a default interface, is having a method. So implement interface is always whatever the method it has, we need to implement in our functions. So that we are used here. So interface means is a must inherit. Okay, so that is resolved here. So now what we are going to do, we'll go to the Louis and create some intent. So if I go to the Louis, that's the build section. I'll just create one intent like a get file. Okay. So I'll just type a few words. Let me know visa file. So intention here is when the user is asking when any attachment is exist in the system. So they will type let me know visa application. So it should give the particular file, or I'll type visa application. Yep. And just click on train and publish. Train. Just wait a couple of seconds. Okay, I clicked on publish. Yep, it's a productions. Going to the code now again. So as this section is there, I'm going to create one more intent here. I'm going to define the intent. Public async. I have a task. So we can give the name anything. Get application file. Just define I dialog context. I dialog context. Now it's a Louis result. Okay. So the intent, when this function should invoke, when my intent is Louis intent, go to get file. Cool. Okay. So here is okay. So I have a code snippet for that. So let me quickly add this particular code sections and let's see how it's work. So basically for a get file, what I'm going to do is just take this particular code and put it here. So this is just, I created a one variable that is a reply message. So whatever the context I have, we are just making one message, and then attachment is our data type, is creating a variables as a attachment, and just we are going to give the file details to this particular attachment. So what is our content type, what is our the URL of the file, all this we will get here. And then using the reply message, what context we are giving, and just attach the entire attachment what we received and then send it back. So this is that much only. So let me add the reference for that. Yep. So the get collection file, let me add this method. So this method I have, let me add the attachment for that. Yep. So this is the method what I'm going to use here. What we are going to return, it's a name of the file, attach content type, what type of files we are going to retrieve, and what is the URLs of the file. Okay, I have this applications. I'll show you. I just log into the SharePoint Online this sites, and this is a library name is a bot file, and here I have a visa application forms. So I'm going to give the path of this. If somebody will ask the give me the file name, it will take this particular URL and give us an attachment. Yeah, now we'll run this solutions and we'll see how our the solutions are, whether we are getting the files or not. So till now we did like we are receiving the files. So after that we'll proceed with the sending the files. So let me click it here or just click F5, just run it. So your solution is running and we are going to test into the test locally into the bot emulators. So use the bot emulator. So just check your APIs. It's a 3984. So in the emulator 3984/API/message. So that we need to type Microsoft app ID and password. No need to put here. We can just click directly on the connect here. Just new conversations. So I'll just type here visa application. So this is like visa. The intent, what I defined the get file. So it's coming here, the visa application form, what the name I gave, you can see it's gave the link, the file exists at that particular location. If I click it here, so it's open the file and you can see this path is a SharePoint Online path and having a document library name is a bot file and then visa form. So it's open the PDF here. We can download the PDF, fill the PDF and again send the PDF to the bot and bot will save into the repository. So this is the agenda. So let me save this file, save as. So I'm going to save this PDF as a 02 is a file name. Okay, I clicked on save. So let me minimize it and store the stop the debugger and we'll see here. Yep, I stopped the debugger. So now here once we need to send the file. So I'm going to write the code here. So this is the new class what I created, the receive attachment as a dialog. So let me take it the snippet and I'll explain what it's doing here. So I'll just call the this is the message received function, and under the message received functions I'm going to call take as a attachment and saving the file into the SharePoint Online. So let me take its entire function. Okay, so let me put it here. So for that, what we need to do, we need to add the SharePoint Online as a reference. I added Microsoft SharePoint client, so that is required for that. Let me minimize it. Or let me. Okay, so this is the functions. What it does, it just check whether the attachment came or not. If this is an attachment, I'm taking the this particular attachments in a particular variables and taking the URLs and taking the content. So these are the three important variables what I created here, and then using the HTTP client to make the request to the SharePoint Online. So here's what I'm going to do. We just need a SharePoint site URLs where we are going to store, and then need the username and password on behalf of this particular user I'm going to store, or otherwise we can use the app principles also. And this is the document library. So all these site URL, username, password, document library I stored into the web.config. So as per your requirement, you can store in the Azure wallet or somewhere else to make it more secure. So what is doing here? Just using the SharePoint client object model, just making the context with that particular URL, and this taking the objects of the SharePoint library. So this is the client context.web.list get by title. So the list name what I gave as my document library list name, that is a bot files. And here is just creating the content type. It's just a content byte array of the particular attachment what I received. And here it's just a property. If the file is already exist, I just set it as a true, just override the particular file. And this line is pretty much is responsible to upload the file into the system. Here we am creating the URL, site URL, list name and attachment dot name. It will give the file name, and then sv.file upload. It's just going to upload into the document library. So that's it. And after that, it just once the file is uploaded, so all the metadata property come as a blank, taking the particular attachment file name and update the title. So it should be like that. And then just posting the message, yes, thanks for submitting the attachment. So this is the just sections here. So let me run and then showcase that one. So I just click on the run button, or you can press the F5. Okay, so it's running locally. I'll go to the emulators, just refresh it, new conversations. I'll just type first visa application. I'll just check whether the file is coming or not. Okay, so let's keep the file. Now I want to send the file back. I'll just click here. I'll just take this one, but before that we will check whether the file exists here or not. So if you see here, I'll refresh this particular library. There is a no file exists with the name 2. Okay, I'll go there and select the file, click open. So it's just sending the file to the bot. So bot is saying, okay, thanks for submitting the attachment. If I go back again, so you can see the file has reached here the few seconds ago. Okay, so that's all for this demo, how to send and receive the files using the CSOM in the SharePoint Online. Thanks for watching. If you find it useful, like, subscribe, or give the comment. Thank you very much.